Hi everyone and welcome to another episode of Lights Camera Conversation. In this episode we're asking the question, is Netflix dumbing down their content? So Ryan, is Netflix dumbing down dialogue for audiences? What do you think?
I hope not, but I think it's happening.
Do you?
I think it's happening. I don't think it's across the board, or I hope it's not across the board. I think they're designing content that is aimed at people who are on their phones whilst watching the television.
Yeah. So do you think that people just don't have the attention spans anymore? So TV is almost becoming a second screen.
Potentially, I think a lot of people have just got used to being on their phones now, haven't they? While they're doing, or everything, to be honest. So I think people are used to either being on social media while they're watching something, or scrolling through TikTok, whatever it might be. So I think people have got used to that, and I think now streamers like Netflix, but also I think other ones are probably doing it as well, are kind of obviously trying to tailor to that audience, aren't they? But then of course you get to the problem where it's like, if they are delivering more and more content that is encouraging you almost to go on your phone whilst watching it because you don't have to pay attention, then is that just going to make everything a bit the same? And is that just going to lose the sort of lose those kind of shows that have that pull and the sort of the bigger stories? Really, it's kind of it's a strange like thing. It's a strange idea that this is happening, but I think it is.
Yeah, it's an interesting topic because I think it's one that's just sort of developed over the last couple of years. You know,
Definitely.
In the last couple of years, you know, TikTok's grown massively, so people are scrolling constantly on their phones.
Completely.
People are enjoying short form content a lot more than longer form content. So, you know, it makes sense that streaming services are purposely writing scripts to keep people engaged with their shows, even if they are on their phones.
Yeah, because this is it. Because I think what we've been reading, I think, is people have been saying that writers are kind of being told quietly to sort of that it's not second screen enough, or that they need to sort of over-explain this bit here, this bit there. So it could be something like as simple as a character comes to the door and announces that they've come to the door, or explains something that they've just done in the show, so that people on their phones can still keep up, or people that are doing something around the house can still keep up.
Yeah.
And I guess there's always been kind of content like that. I guess there's always content you can put on whilst you're doing other stuff. I think it's just weird to the idea that this is being designed this way now.
Yeah. So do you think it's making scripts and TV shows, the dialogue that's being said, worse? Do you think?
I think so. I mean, when we first were talking about Stranger Things, weren't we?
Yeah.
And nothing's been explicitly said that they've kind of introduced this rule with series 5. But a lot of people have said that season 5 has felt a lot more like there's been a lot of over-explaining, a lot of explaining dialogue, a lot more of that kind of stuff, a lot more people announcing stuff, and it just felt a bit less subtle than some of the other ones. And that's not to say that this is because of this rule. Maybe it's in my head or in people's heads because of this all coming out now. But I think if you're a creator and you're having to still create shows that are essentially designed for people not to watch, what a weird thing that must be.
That is strange.
And that thought of stifling that creativity, or that, like, the subtleness of a shot. It's like showing. It used to be show not tell, didn't it? Now it's kind of, people are saying it's show and tell. You kind of have to do everything. It's like you end up just basically making a radio drama with visuals.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Which is weird.
It is weird.
And do you watch a lot of? Do you have your phone on while you're watching stuff? Like, how's your kind of habits with it all, really?
When I'm watching TV, I purposely put my phone down because I want to, like, engage with the TV show. Because I think sometimes if I don't do that, I miss plot lines, and then I end up not understanding what's going on.
Completely.
So, like, I purposely make myself put my phone down.
Yeah, definitely.
But when I'm watching with other people, like, I notice that they're on their phones, and I'm like, how do you know what's happening right now? You're missing the whole show.
Yeah. I get that too. And we were doing going back to Stranger Things, we were doing a rewatch of some of the series with my family while we were away. And I noticed that there were a couple of people in the room on their phones, and they hadn't seen it before. I'd seen it before, and I was watching it over, and I could see they were on their phones, and I could see they were missing bits, and I just wanted to go like, you're missing the crucial moment.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe it's a habit that people have gotten into. I'm the same as you. I will tend to not be on my phone. I don't even think about it. I just not. If I'm watching something, I'm watching it. If I want to put TV on that's like, and I want to do something else, if I want to do something around the house, or I want to like be on my phone for a bit, I'll put something on that I've seen like a million times before, or a YouTube video that is just more about the audio than the visual side of it.
Yeah.
But if I'm sitting down and watching like a drama, or even like something like The Traitors or anything like that, like I want to take that in. If something comes up on my phone, I'll pause it and I'll come back to it.
Yeah, I'm the same.
But maybe it's just people's habits. It's obviously people's habits these days, isn't it? That they're used to being on their phone more often.
Yeah. And I guess production companies and streaming services, they sort of have to tailor to people's habits. So.
This is it. That they're all the streamers and TV channels are all basically trying to get an audience out there and trying to keep an audience. So in their minds, if they can keep somebody, if someone like Netflix can keep somebody watching, if they can just get somebody to put a series on and have that running in the background, then that's them keeping an audience on their platform, isn't it? So it ends up being more content they're having to produce to kind of fill their platform, to keep people in there. And I think that's just the way it is, isn't it? Unfortunately, that streamers are kind of vying for that audience, vying for attention. Yeah. And this is the way it's kind of going, really.
Yeah. It's interesting that you mentioned Stranger Things, because when I watched the last season, it is something I noticed that they were doing a lot of monologues and explicitly explaining how they were feeling in a certain scene. Yeah. And there was a part of me that thought maybe they're doing this because it's the last season and they want to give everyone sort of a perfect ending.
I get that.
And sort of resolve any relationships with the other characters and stuff like that. But then I guess after seeing the Stranger Things documentary that's just come out, obviously there's a lot of controversy at the minute with that, because we get an inside look into what the script writing process was for the finale. And the Duffer Brothers are coming under fire for potentially struggling to write their last episode. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's I felt it too in the last season. And I think a lot of people did. And I get what you're saying. Maybe they were trying to, like you say, give characters monologues. And I think there were certain ones that definitely hit the emotional beat maybe they were trying to get. Yeah. But then there was definitely felt like a lot of the other dialogue was just over-explaining of plans or over-explaining of what they're going to do, what they want to do, what they've just done. And it was, it just kind of fit. That subtlety had gone, really. Yeah. And as you say, watching the documentary, maybe it is just down to them being so under pressure for this last season. Yeah. Not quite having a clear, having the game plan in their head, but not quite having it completely figured out before going into it all. Yeah. That maybe it meant that like it's felt a little bit muddied and a little bit watered down and a little bit messy. I think it could just be a lot of that, to be honest. Who knows? Yeah, I haven't watched the full documentary yet, but I've certainly seen the main highlights that people have put up online.
It is an interesting watch,
Yeah. But there must be a lot of pressure for a final season. Like you got to give them that, but they've had a good chunk of time to get this one, and a massive budget to get this one down.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I feel like this is why I'm in two minds about it, because I feel like with anything that's coming to an end, some people are going to be happy and some people aren't. Definitely. So there is a lot of pressure in terms of that for the audience wanting a good ending. Completely. But yeah, it is an interesting one, because one of the scenes that sort of stood out in particular, where I was like, this is such a long monologue, was the one between Holly and Max just before they're about to sort of run through the portal. They have this like full 5-minute conversation about Hollywood needing to be a hero, and it's
exactly.
like,
You just imagine in the background going, "These portals are going to close. You know, get out. What's happening? What are you doing?"
I was like, Vecna's right behind you. He could like come any second.
I agree. I completely agree. Yeah, it's strange. And I think there was definitely a needed moment, but I also think
but not 5 minutes. It was a long monologue.
Yeah, it felt weird. Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I like you say, I don't think we'll ever really get down to the full basis of what happened there, but I definitely agree. And I think that's what a lot of people are feeling with it, isn't it, really? And I think the story in general, again with the finale, kind of for me it felt a little bit safe.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that is kind of going back to what we were saying before about streamers and content trying to appeal to as much of an audience as possible. They don't want to rock the boat. They want it to be. They want it to be a bit safe and a bit kind of appealing to everybody. They don't want to sort of challenge people too much.
Yeah.
And I think that's what kind of this second screen content is kind of doing in the same way. Really, they don't want to have too much content out there that's going to challenge people. It's just kind of a comfort, same rhythm, predictable kind of stuff that people are just going to have on and not pay much attention to. But unfortunately, then it's just going to make everything feel that little bit more the same.
Yeah, exactly. Like they gave in the Stranger Things finale, they gave everyone the happy endings, even with Elle to some degree. Like obviously, there's that question whether she's alive or not, and sort of leaving it up to the audience to decide.
Yeah,
but then it almost sort of seems a bit lazy.
I get that. Yeah, I get that. And because I appreciated the massive like epilogue at the end. Like I think it was kind of needed that to kind of give everyone a bit of a send off. But I remember the first time I watched it, it felt like the plan they had in place all went well, quite quickly.
Yeah.
Vecna died quite quickly. Yeah. The big battle happened quite quickly. And then we had this massive epilogue that was like, okay, this is the last 40, 50 minutes of Stranger Things. Second time around, it fell more into place for me. I kind of enjoyed it more, but maybe that's because I knew what was happening.
Yeah.
But it did feel like a little bit like there just could have been a little bit of a, not even necessarily a twist, but just something that didn't quite go right.
Yeah.
Something that just didn't go like plop, 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 done. Like that's it. But that's, it's tricky, isn't it? It's hard to, you can't please everybody, I don't think. But I think in trying to please the majority, you end up just going with a more of a predictable.
Yeah, I agree.
Route.
So Bridgerton, that's another one of Netflix's popular series. And I guess it could be used as an example of how forms of narration have always been used, throughout film and television.
Yeah.
So like voiceovers, like narrators.
Yeah.
So films and TV have always sort of used these techniques to tell the audience what's happening. And I guess Bridgerton's quite a good example of that. We've got Lady Whistledown, voiced by Julie Andrews.
Classic.
And she sort of narrates each episode, telling sort of scandalous gossip from the ton.
Okay, so that's
so she sort of introduces every episode and basically tells you what's happening.
Okay.
So I guess, is that another example of second screen viewing? Or is that just a technique that's been used for years and years by film and TV producers to like quickly let their audience know what's happening?
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Because I've never seen Bridgerton. The closest I've seen is the Doctor Who themed Bridgerton episode. But I guess when you're watching it then, do you watch it and feel like it's an explanation or like a over explanation, or does it just feel like a natural part of the story that this narrator's in there? Do you know what I mean?
I guess with that it's almost feels more natural because sort of Lady Whistledown and the voice of Lady Whistledown, Julie Andrews, sort of exists separately to the rest of the show. So she's technically a character because it ends up, spoiler alert, ends up being one of the characters who writes this column.
Nice. Yeah.
But yeah, so her voice sort of exists separately to the show.
Yeah, I like that. So the setup of the show is potentially then that the show is her writing and her thoughts.
Yes,
So that's nice.
basically.
So that's kind of part of the narrative then, isn't it? Rather than
Yeah.
I think maybe that's where the difference is then.
Yeah. So is it a case that maybe in the last couple of years, this second screen viewing has become more obvious and people are noticing it more because it's become part of like the actual character's dialogue?
Yeah, potentially, yeah.
Rather than it being external.
Yeah, people are taking these well-used things like voiceovers and using them to basically just over-explain things. Yeah. I think so. And maybe if it is starting to seep into like shows that have been running a while, like again, we're going about Strange Things, but if that is seeping into shows like that, then it's going to be a lot more noticeable.
Yeah.
To viewers that the writing is kind of gone a bit weird or gone a bit off. Yeah. Whereas with maybe with newer content, you're still going to notice it, but I guess you'll just think that, well, that's just the way that show is. So I either won't watch it or accept it for what it is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was reading something the other day about soap operas, and they were kind of saying how this is soap operas kind of started as a way, obviously, as being like kind of cheap to produce, quick to produce. They were getting out little episodes that could go out every night, and they're designed to kind of be a bit rhythmic, slightly predictable, but just kind of comfort kind of things that you can dip in and out of, I guess. And I think that's what they were trying to make the point, that a lot of the content now is kind of aiming back more towards that way. And that's what streamers are kind of wanting that bit more of now.
Yeah.
I think that's where the second screen viewing thing is kind of coming in that bit more.
Yeah. But
yeah, it's an interesting one. I don't know what it kind of means for the future of like storytelling and creative days, because you must feel stifled as a creator if you're being told to have this beautiful scene that you just made and actually just add in a load of extra dialogue so that somebody can get it. I don't know. What do you think?
I think it'll either go one way or the other. I think it'll either continue on the path it's on now, where sort of dialogue and scripts are sort of too obvious, and the dialogue almost becomes like stage direction, where explicitly saying what they're doing, how they're feeling, and just becoming too predictable. Where it's I think people notice it because if in the real world you wouldn't just announce when you walk into a room. And so it's but then I guess it could also go the other way, where producers and writers will say, no, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
And we'll just go the other way. But it's hard to tell.
It is, isn't it?
I feel like I still think there is some work, a lot of like A24 stuff, I feel like is still produces sort of good
completely
quality film. So it's an interesting debate of whether it's just the streaming services that are sort of dumbing down.
Because it's hard to know if they're sort of designing specific content or pushing it to be in certain content, that they're pushing these kind of rules, or whether it is across the board. Because I guess if they are making content specifically for this kind of second screen viewing, and they're obviously pushing for a lot more of that kind of stuff, then I guess you'd be able to maybe tell that that's the kind of content that is, if that makes sense.
So maybe it's a case of then that content that's explicitly released in the cinema, so long form content where people have to actually go and watch it in a cinema, is not classed as second screen viewing, because people tend to obviously are advised not to go on their phones in the cinema.
Absolutely.
Whereas like for content that's specifically produced for a streaming platform where it can be viewed on your phone as well as a TV, is they're purposely writing the scripts because they know people are watching it at home and are more likely to go on their phones. So maybe that's the case.
So. Yeah, I think that maybe is, And also I think now is like, because obviously cinemas are wanting people to go to the cinema as much as possible. But I think that gap between it being in a cinema and being on a streamer now is so short. It's like a lot of people are just waiting to do it at home, aren't they?
Yeah, true.
But I think that's also another reason probably for movie studios to make films that are going to entice people to come to the cinema. So yeah, I think that's a different. I think that's a different ball game altogether, isn't it? Really, in terms of that, I think for a streamer, like you say, they're going to want more content that's going to keep people watching and sticking on their platform. And as I say, it's not happening everywhere, like you said before. There's a show that I've been watching recently called Interview with the Vampire.
Okay.
It's an amazing show. Like, it's visually, it's stunning. The writing is brilliant. The second series only came out a couple of years ago. There's another one coming out this year. But that is a show that you don't just need to watch it, but you want to watch it. You want to be stuck to it. When me and my friend were watching it, we literally got to the end of an episode and realised we've both done the cliche thing. We've been sat on the edge of our seats. We were both propped up and didn't realise we were doing it. And so it's there's content still out there. And obviously there's always going to be content out there that is going to be doing this. It's just, where's that line, I guess?
Yeah.
How far is this going to go?
I guess we'll see.
Who knows? Exactly. Yeah. Well, I've been away from my phone for quite a while now. I need to go back to it and
I need to start doing scrolling.
Get something up on the computer and start my second screen going.
Yeah.